I'm here outside Violet and Rosie's house. This is about 3/4 of the way through our session. I just had to go move my car because I'm in Santa Monica. I collect a lot of parking tickets. And in this video, I'm going to go over some tips and tricks you can use if you have a dog that's very excited about being released from the kennel or a designated long-term confinement area, which is what these dogs are in. Now, these dogs have been here for a while. Recently, they've started displaying some of the signs of separation anxiety. The guardian's a little bit confused about that, but these things can kind of progressively happen. Eventually, you hit a tipping point, then the dog starts knocking stuff off, chewing on things, and that's kind of where the dogs are at now. So they're behind a barricade, a baby gate. So in this video, I'm going to show you how you can release the dogs in a way that helps the dogs understand that the only way they're getting out is by being calm and relaxed. And so I'm going to have the camera, the guardian's filming me, and she's going to follow behind, so we'll have a little interesting camera work. When we come in, I'm going to have you kind of go over kind of close to the couch so you can kind of shoot me from the side and see us both.
Okay.
All right, we'll figure this out. Let's see how we do. All right. I'm going to have you go kind of right over there and stay on the edge of your apartment and point the camera at me. There we go. All right. So Rosie is this one right here.
The little one, the little one.
Oh, the little one. Rosie, and Violet is the one standing on top of the cat door. All right, so they're very excited. You see the guardians put some pennies in these jars to try to keep them from knocking out because they've gotten through this thing. They're very excited. If I reach for this, see how the level of excitement goes up when I reach for it? So what I'm doing is well, let me talk about what I'm not doing. I'm not telling them to shut up. I'm not telling them to calm down. I'm not telling them to SIT. I'm spelling it because I don't want them to do it on command. What I'm doing is waiting for their energy to calm down, and that's not calm. That's demand barking. That's let me out of here, damn it. I'm just going to ignore. I'm not going to respond. If I correct the dog, then that's what the dog wants is a response from me. So the correction would be validating. Opening the door would absolutely be validating. So now their energy is calm. It's calmer. It's not calm. Dogs have 10 levels of energy. Most people, when their dog's going like level 8 energy, they see it go down to 3 and they're like, oh, it's calm. No, it's calmer. It's still not calm. So there's the same sort of thing here. One of the dirty secrets I found with dog behavior is always outlasting the dog. And letting the dog know, if I got to stand here for an hour, I'll stand here for an hour. But I'm going to get my way. So now we've achieved calm. Now I reach for the handle.
You have to, yeah.
No, I'm doing this intentionally to make it sound like I'm struggling. See how the excitement level went up?
Mm-hmm.
So now I just turn away, and I'm waiting for them to get down. So I open it when she's down. On it, that can be a way of doing that as well. Sit. So I say it once, the dog has 3 seconds to comply. If it doesn't comply, then I want to show the dog I have something better to do. Now, I'm just demonstrating this for the video, but I would like the guardian, if she does the same thing and they get the same response, I want her to go sit there, pull out a book, and start reading about John, or Joy, or whatever that is. My eyes are not as good as they used to be. And wait 1 minute. Make sure the dogs are calm when you get done with your minute and come back over here. Sit. So she sat, but she's still too excited. So she doesn't know that she has to be calm and sitting. The way she's going to figure that out is a lot of repetition. The only way I'm going to open the door is when she's calm and sitting.
Both of them?
Well, that's what I was about to say. Is if one of them is calm and sitting, and then I go open the door, and the other one tries to come out, I'm not going to let the other one out. So I'm only going to pay based on performance. So I'm going to go nice and calm. So that jumping up caused me to move away. Your timing is really super duper important. So when a couple seconds have turned away, I don't say I'm shutting the dog, but I'm saying you jumping up caused me to stop the process. Sit. See how fast her tail's going? I don't know if you can see the video, but it's going pretty fast. Mm-hmm. Where Rosie's is more relaxed. So didn't do what I wanted, so not getting in their way. Now the key to doing this is when we create a scenario where I don't really need them to sit. I want them to sit. But if they don't sit, I can go sit back there and go grab a glass of water and your lemonade and watch a little TV or read a book or do whatever it is until they wait for them to calm down. If they're barking and protesting, we're going to ignore them completely. Sit. Now this is harder when you have 2 dogs. And in a perfect world, what I would recommend you do if you have the option is have somebody take one of the dogs and then put the other one here by itself, practice pretend leaving, wait a couple minutes outside, and then come in, and that way you're only dealing with one dog. Once the one dog knows how to do it, then you switch and perhaps to the other dog. And so once they both kind of, when you come and say sit, or they're sitting automatically, which they eventually will do, then you put them together and they know what's going on. Right now this makes it a little bit more challenging. So she's still excited, her tail's still going pretty good, but she's calm enough to try again. Sit. Now, one of the things about this is you have to be diligent, and so if you do this at a time when you're rushed, you're putting unreasonable pressure on yourself and the equation, and you're going to cause it to fail. Sit. Now, part of this is the guardian doesn't really have a lot of rules or structure for the dog. She used to, she's kind of relaxed on those. So dogs are like, what are you talking about? I don't do what humans tell me to do. I sit when I sit, and if you happen to like it at the same time, and you can pet me for it, but I do it when I want to do it.
You would never say it twice.
No, because the more you say it, the
Right.
less you need it. You're just
I
saying watering down your authority. So, sit. Now, we're hopefully achieve this, but it might be a pretty long video, and it probably won't be the most exciting footage, but patience and diligence. Well, I'm not going to edit it out because, I mean, it's great for the dog whisperer. That's not a method that I like to use, and it's great for TV shows to have that instant gratification.
Actually, this is reality.
That's not, but that's really not life.
Right.
And so I try to show my videos when I do this. I try to not have done it with the dogs before. A lot of times these guys do these things. They've already done it with the dog 50 times. The dog does it automatically. I want it to be real world what I'm actually dealing with. So that's, I haven't practiced. She's already lost some interest, and she walked away and sat down because this is boring for her.
Right.
Sit.
Not long enough?
Well, she got up when I started the process. So I stopped the process. Now, this is operant conditioning. This will take a long time the first couple times you do it. After this, they'll do it shorter and shorter. Why don't you go ahead and grab a seat there, keep filming, but I want you to be comfortable, and it'll be easier.
It's going to be a while.
That's all right. But that's the thing is, telling the dogs through your actions that I'm willing to invest the time on YouTube to sit here till I achieve the results that I want. Because otherwise they're going to keep on doing what they want, but once they realize that doesn't work, that's when they start kind of being more open. Okay, what could I do in order to achieve the results I'm looking for? So I was about to let her try, but she got up there. So sit. It's going to be harder with both of you. Sit. I had a guy, we did this process with leashing his dog up. It took an hour and 45 minutes. We're not going to spend that much time here. We will get him out of here, but it might not be exactly the line. So let me kind of explain what I want you to do while we have some dead air, so we're kind of being efficient with their time. So you tell them to sit. If they sit down, one of them sits down, you start the process of letting that dog out. They don't know that. Now, as long as that dog stays seated throughout the whole process of you opening it, then I would let that dog out and not let the other dog out and close the door. But what you're seeing is when you start the process, they often get out of a sit. So getting out of the sit stops my process. Sit. Now I break things down into individual steps, so I wasn't intending to even touch the door. I just want to rub a couple times reaching for it. Sit.
It's a lot to ask.
It's not a lot to ask. It just takes a lot of time. And again, normally I got 10 minutes, so I can do this and do this and this. And then we don't have the time, and then we give in, and we punt down the road, and that causes the dog to say, I'll just push the boundaries and not give her what she wants. Eventually, she'll cave, and I get my way anyways. We have to show the dogs that I'm willing to spend an hour or however long it is. The only way you're getting out is compliance. That's the only thing that'll get it.
Full compliance.
Yeah, and I'm not going to argue with you about it. I'm not going to debate you. I'm not going to beg you to do it. This is how you get out. If you can do what I want, then immediately you get out. If you don't, sit. Now again, with having two dogs, it's hard. So if you do have, you could hire somebody from WAGs or somebody to come and walk your dogs and just say, I want 2 walks. Have them take one dog, after 2 minutes after them leaving, put the other dog back here, leave yourself, go to the bottom of the stairs so you can hear if they're barking. Then after about 2 or 3 minutes, come back up here and repeat this process. You know they're gone for 20 minutes. So tell the guy, look, I want at least a 25-minute walk. So you know you're going to have enough time to achieve what you want. When they don't have the other dog there, it's easier for them to not cascade their energy between the two of them.
Yeah.
Sit. I was almost going to do that because she was LA1 and she was standing. So I'm like, that kind of cancels out and makes a sit in the middle. Sit.
The bottom's locked.
I just want to kind of achieve
Wow,
the calmness.
that's something. Good, good.
Just go up to
To the
side.
right. Yeah, I mean to the, yeah,
There we go.
yeah.
Sit. So again, we're just going to
I
wait.
know, they thought.
And that's okay. It takes a little bit of time and patience, but you have to demonstrate through your actions that I am willing to sit here. And once they come to that realization, and it might take 10, 15, 20 minutes, or some dogs get it faster than others. Again, if it's really too cumbersome, do it with one dog at a time. Sit. But the tail's not going quite as much. The gas is going. So there's a little, I smell a little extra fuel to the room.
Because they're new food that, you know.
There might be, yeah. So we fed the little some treats
That's-
that might not necessarily agree with them.
Yeah.
Boring. I'm bored about this. I walked away.
Is that bad?
I'm going to use it at this point to make that to allow them to come out. Now, normally I would like them to be sitting down, but really you want to achieve two things with this. And I'm trying to kind of combine two things together, which makes it a little bit more difficult. That's right, I'll hook you up another bully stick. She took hers. So just make sure you see me through the camera. So basically the first thing I want to achieve is the dogs to be calm before I let them out. So that's where you have to sit and be calm. Otherwise, I'm not going to open the door. Well, actually, I sit before I let out, not calm. But calm is also something we want to achieve as well. So you're really trying to achieve two things at once here. And that makes it more difficult. Whenever you're dealing with dog behavior, you want to try to isolate it down to one individual thing. And in this case, one individual dog would be easier. And then am I looking for the dog to sit or be calm? So I'd probably, in this case, combine them too, but I would do it with one dog at a time.
Can I not have her finish that? I don't want her to eat that, really. 'Cause she's going to have diarrhea.
Sure. So I'm going to show you how to do a drop. It's harder with both of you here. There we go. Come here. Here, let's do it this way. Come here. Come here. Yes. There we go. All right, now come here. There we go. Drop.
Shoot.
That's right.
She's going to gulp it and
I
choke.
was able to do that both. Yeah, most of the time.
I really would like her not to eat that.
All right, well, we'll do it. There we go. Now you get the treats then. Now, I don't like to pull things away.
I
So
know.
what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hold it and wait for her to release. Just a little bonus video. To
Yeah,
this one.
I was going to
There we go.
say.
There we go.
Thank you.
So we'll put this up here temporarily. Whoops. Well, it is yours. And I'll give you that and say drop. So we create at least a command word and a positive for it. Okay, so let me kind of explain this while I'm going to hold on to you so your partner can get her bully stick. So what I would do is I would, again, arrange to have a dog walker or somebody come by, have them take one dog, put the other dog back here, leave yourself, wait about 2 to 3 minutes and then we come in, come to the door, tell the dog to sit one time. If it doesn't sit within 3 seconds, turn away, so you're kind of facing this direction.
For a minute.
And wait. I usually wait like a minute, but in this case, we're looking for the dog to calm down. We're doing multiple things, so not just to sit, but sit and calm. So as soon as the dog is calm, not calmer, calm, reach for your hand, reach for this. You normally reach it like a couple inches, and the dog will probably get up, pull your arm back, and don't go. You should expect you're only going to be, and even you might even just have the intention. I'm not going to touch it. I'm just going to 2 inches back, 2 inches back, 3 inches back, 4 inches back, 5 inches. You don't want to be like, oh, this is boring. Are you going to come in or not? Whatever it is. So we're showing the dog, no, I'm helping the dog achieve the behavior I want. I want you to stay seated, and that'll continue the process. As soon as you get up or get excited, I stop the process, I turn away, and I stand here. Now for you, I'd probably have you go sit there. First couple times I'd probably have you just stand here. Unless they're way excited, then I would have you move away. Because I want you to be able to rep this a lot, and getting up and going back and forth is probably a little bit more cumbersome than we need to. So eventually you'll be able to touch it, and the dog stays seated, and then jiggle it. Make it as hard as possible. And then eventually open it, just pull this back and close. Once or twice. So you're just making the sounds of these things. Then you're gonna open it just like an inch and then close it. And then open it a couple inches and close it. And if the dog gets up out of a sit or stops or starts to get excited at any point, we pull our arm back, we close the door, pull our arm back, stop, and either turn away or just wait. You can give the dog the command to sit, but I wouldn't do that over and over and over again. Say sit once. If she doesn't do it, maybe the first 3, 5, 7 times you do it, after that, you just stop and you wait for the sit. And when it sits, then you start the process again. You're not saying sit, 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 over and over. And eventually the dog will stay seated. You'll be able to reach through the whole process, open it up. Then you would say come or whatever your word is to come out here. And the dog learned the only way I get to exit here is being calm and seated. And so they were both calmer. And if you do it with them separately, you'll be able to achieve it. Now, if you want to try to do it together, it's just going to take you a lot longer. So I would recommend that you practice this when you get a dog walker. Just do this once a day whenever it's convenient for you. Have the dog walker come. Do it once with one dog, and then the dog walker grabs the other dog, and you put the dog that just got done walking. Give that dog about 5 minutes to recover before you start this process, because they're going to be breathing heavy and tired, need some water and all that, and once they're relaxed, then you start the process again. The first couple times it'll take a while. After a while it'll be faster and faster, and eventually it gets to the point where they just automatically sit and be calm.
I think Rosie will be fine. It's Violet.
So yeah, so maybe have Violet or Rosie go out for a longer walk. So Violet, or maybe have them just drive, get an Uber and drive far away, and then Rosie and her are coming back while Violet and you are practicing this. Well, this is Violet, this is Rosie, right? And these are some tips you can use if you have dogs that get very excited or don't want to sit before you let them out of the door.